All right. Welcome,
Good, we're going.
everyone. Welcome to the 2022 World Cup geosteering style, baby. I'm wearing my soccer shirt to represent. My name is Keith Rivera. Keith Rivera, for those of you who don't know. I got Jeff Chris here. He's my partner in crime, and we're going to be talking to you a little bit about this year's Geosteering World Cup. So, Jeff, do you want to kick it off?
Yeah, thanks, Keith. Welcome to this month's webinar, everyone. We want to just kind of set the stage for this year's World Cup. It's the third one we're hosting, third year in a row. What we want to do is just walk you through what's going to be happening with the World Cup, why you should be in it, what the advantages are, and then any differences we're looking at this year versus last year.
Yeah,
Let's
baby.
get going. Let's start with our beautiful sponsors.
Yes. Yes,
So,
yes, yes. So thank you
for
to our sponsors, right? I mean, without our sponsors, this event wouldn't be nearly as cool or as fun as it has been in the past. So thank you so much. We have GeoVision, we have Terra Guidance, Core Geologic, Edge Systems as our platinum sponsors. So thank you. And we have two silver sponsors, Jeff. And one of them is in your neck of the woods, right?
That's right, Beloy Petroleum, Beloy Geologist up here in Calgary. Shout out to you guys. Thanks a lot for sponsoring. And we have MCWL Paladin out of Oklahoma.
Thank you,
Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah,
We're actually
my
pretty
boy
well
Chris Babs
represented.
over there.
Yeah, pretty well represented across the country, right? We got some in Houston, some in Denver, Oklahoma, up here in Calgary. We're just missing the Northeast.
Yes, we are just missing that. But you know what? All of these service companies do work in basins across the globe, pretty much all the basins in the lower 48. And they do anything from geosteering to mud logging to full G&G kind of contracting work, right? So for any of you needing geosteering services, or mud logging services or anything G&G related, please, you can reach out to any of these sponsors and they will hook you up. Love them all. They're great people. So yeah, look them up.
Including our fantastic Canadian sponsor as well.
I got to represent the Canadians, huh?
And also a big thanks to the team behind the scenes.
Yes.
Everyone here at ROGII working hard on putting this event together. So we're really excited.
There's a lot of manpower, brain power going on behind the scenes to make this thing possible. So yeah, thanks to everyone. Like I always say, it's kind of like movie making, right? A lot of the movies are made behind the camera, not in front of the camera, even though a lot of the actors get the credit. It's kind of like this, right? There's a lot going on behind the scenes, and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears go into it. So thanks to them too. Good shout out, Jeff. So, dude, tell me, what is Geosteering World Cup? For those of you who have never logged in, don't know what it is, haven't participated, what is this?
So it's the one-of-a-kind, basically premier event, global event for geologists. So it's something that everyone sort of has in common, right? You go to a conference, you could say, how'd you do in the World Cup, right?
People.
Yeah, we want to have that many people involved. We want it to be the premier event of the year for this community. So we hope that you all get registered if you haven't already. Yeah, be part of it this year.
Definitely, and you can find where to register, and I think we'll talk about that a little bit later because you can even do it straight here with your camera. But on our LinkedIn page, you can find it, or you can reach out to any of your account executives, and they can give you a link to how to log in. But speaking of the Geosteering World Cup, Jeff, we see this image here on the slide. Explain to me what we're looking at here. This is it looks like spaghetti. What is that, man?
This is a screenshot from last year's, I think it was one of the conventional projects. And we're looking at maybe, I can't remember how many people. I think we had 280 people.
Nice.
280 participants. So we're looking at roughly 280 wells here, all trying to drill the same well at the same time in solo. What happens is, they're manipulating their interpretation. All at the same time, they get new data every 2 minutes, and you can see we get some wildly different results.
Yeah, I mean I think it's pretty stinking awesome to see. But I also see the colored wells. Who are those? What are they? I mean, they look solid, especially that red one. That red one looks like man, they did a good job. But yeah, the blue, the orange, and the green.
Yeah, those are our regional champion wells.
Okay, nice.
So we've broken it down into 4 different regions. So we have 4 different regional winners and then 1 grand champion.
Nice.
So that's what we're looking at with the colored lines. Let's jump over the next one. All right, World Cup Hall of Fame.
So
All right,
these are those participants, right?
these are those people for the most part. We have some 2020 champions. Here's a list of the 2021 champions here. Champion North America regional winner. Some of you may know Sean Palmer. GeoVision, congrats to him, winning last year's event. There's a picture of him with the Igors.
And his trophy. So that's the trophy that we give out to the winner.
Right.
So this year, if y'all are the winner, you get, I think it's the same look, right? We do the same trophy pretty much.
Same trophy, yeah.
Yeah, but you get to take it to your office, your home, whatever. You post it up, it's yours. So it's pretty cool.
Show it off, yeah. Latin American champ, our very own Noelia Giuseppe. She works here now. She didn't work here before. Okay.
there was no inside steering on that one. Okay.
Philip Chimchek. That's how I'm going to say that. Middle East Oceania champion. We have Pat Tobin. He won in 2020 in North America. Our very own Osman El Halou back in 2019 before the first official event. Was the Geosteering or the ROGII user meeting, I believe.
Yep.
And
I see little Steven in that other photo right there too. Yeah.
2018.
He was part of that team. I actually think I participated in I want to say the 2018 when I was at Noble Energy. I think it was at the user group as well. And the group that I think we did it by tables. I think it was like groups of tables or something like that. I had no idea how to work this thing or how to do it. So we definitely screwed it up on that, screwed the pooch. But it's definitely a fun little vibe. Now the photo on the right, we mentioned it a little bit earlier. For those of you who were on at the time, we mentioned our Instagram, filter and hashtags and all that kind of jazz. One of the things that we're doing this year is if you take a photo of yourself during the competition, we're asking people to do this, right? But there's a chance to win a prize for posting it up, right? So I think I don't want to go into like who wins it right now, but I think it is the first person to tag, the most creative. There's a few categories that if you have any questions, we can update you on that, and we'll make sure that that's prevalent beforehand so you know how to do it. But that's the filter right now. And then if you tag us, ROGII, and then we've got a few hashtags that we'll explain later on in this slide deck. If you can hashtag those, that'd be fun. We're trying to keep this a fun, exciting kind of event, right? So having that, sharing your experience, sharing it, I think it'll be a lot of fun to do. So if you could do that, please go ahead, do it.
Yeah, post some selfies or some pictures of your steering party.
I'll probably do mine because I'm going to be the host, right? So I'll probably do mine of hosting. So I'll tag it up.
Absolutely, yeah.
So when is this
question?
Event? Yeah, when is this event, brother? Oh, do we have a question?
No, I was just saying this is an important question. When is the Geosteering World Cup?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's September 20th. It takes place 10:30 Central Daylight Time. Lasts about 3 hours. That consists of the two main events, the 2 wells that we're drilling. They're about 45 minutes apiece, with some call it entertainment in between, right?
Yes. Yeah, there will be a break. So there's 2, and we'll talk a little bit more later on. So there's 2 types of wells. There's an unconventional and conventional. We'll get into that a little bit deeper further on this webinar. Excuse me. So there will be a break in between that, and then we're going to invite our sponsors on for a little bit of a talk as well. And then starting, we've got breaking it out. We've got some videos that'll lead into it, and then at the end, with the tallying and all that kind of stuff, and then we'll announce the winners. So overall, the whole thing takes about, like Jeff was saying, 3.5 hours, something like that. But the actual steering portion, each person will have 45 minutes. So, and we'll talk a little bit more on that later. But I know, Jeff, you mentioned that there are 4 regions, right, that are that are participating in this Geosteering World Cup this year. What are those 4 regions?
what are the 4 regions? Well, we've broken it down into North America, South America, or Latin America, you could call it, Middle East, Asia, Oceania, yes, and Africa, and then Europe, Eurasia.
What about Antarctica?
Antarctica, I mean, we know that there are geologists doing research in Antarctica, so, you know, it'd be great if anyone knew that person. We'll send them a license, get them all practiced up. That way we can have, you know, all
We
set
could have that 5th region. You could be the Antarctica winner. There's one steer, and you'll be the winner of Antarctica. Well, actually, that comes to a big point, right? So, because we've had some people ask this, like, could you relocate somewhere, and or just like, you know, take your operations remote and steer somewhere and be a part of that region so you could win that region? Is that something you could do? But I don't think you can, right? Where
Yeah,
it's all based on your residence.
if you think you know, if there's some region you think is underrepresented and you want to take a little vacation, it's not going to work. It's based on your nation of residence, right? So,
so I guess technically,
live,
if you buy a business building or a home or something, right, in that region to do it, you definitely could, right? I guess.
good. We're probably not going to check.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I mean, that's a lot of money just to participate and be the winner of the Geosteering World Cup. But hey, I mean, more power to you if that's what you want to do, right?
That's right.
Oh man, but no, I'm excited. It's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be a lot of fun, and have, you know, the global representation. Now,
we'll see if the trophy stays in North America,
or
somewhere else. Maybe it's coming to Canada specifically.
Well, I don't know, bro.
You think we have a chance?
I don't know. Florida won in hockey just recently, right? So
Right.
I don't know. The Canadians have to step their game up, right?
They did beat all the Canadian teams, didn't they?
Oh man, but hey, shoot, didn't Toronto win not too long ago? And what was it, basketball?
Yeah, they did.
So yeah, it's
2018
possible.
or so.
Yeah, it's possible. Canadians can take it, baby.
Yeah.
So what's new for this year, brother?
Well, we had 131 registrants in year 1. We had just under 300 in year 2. So we hope to get more competitors. We hope to spread them out over the globe as much as we can. You know, it's going to be a bit more realistic, including multiple type wells for the unconventional project.
Nice.
And we hope that it's even more fun than last year. We had a great time last year.
You know, I'm a little biased, but since I'll be involved, Dylan, if you're watching, no offense, brother, but I'm just saying. No, it's going to be a lot of fun, guys. Like you said, more realistic. I'm excited with the multiple type wells because that's very realistic. I had to use several when I was geosteering back in the Permian, at least at Noble. I rarely use just one type well, so I'm glad we started integrating that. And like Jeff said, each year it keeps getting bigger, and we just want to grow this thing, right? We're trying to grow the geosteering community, and we just want this event to be the event, you know. So spread the word, invite your friends.
Yeah, fun, stress-free. Don't worry too much about it. You know, just have a good time.
Yeah.
See how well you can do, right? See how you stack up to your peers, right?
Yep, 100%. Okay, so we mentioned a couple type of. You just thrown it out there. You know, this was the unconventional, or this is the conventional. So there's 2 types of wells: a conventional and unconventional. Now, can you do me a solid and define conventional, unconventional? Because I guess, you know, back in the day, historically, the unconventional kind of explanation or definition of that was a horizontal well, right? Because that was the conventional way of drilling was, you know, vertically, right? And then the horizontal game came into play, and people referred to the unconventional kind of way of drilling was the horizontal, but we're using it in a different kind of fashion, right? Breaking it down to the reservoir type. Is this a conventional or unconventional, right?
Yeah. I mean, basically, it just comes down to lithology and the tools we're using, right? Unconventional, it's your shale play, You frack it, right? You basically just have gamma ray to go off of. Conventional, we have some extra tools. We're drilling some sandstone. We have things like image logs. You have, bulk density, neutron porosity, and resistivity, right? So some extra tools. Yeah, it's just a little bit different if you're not used to it. Do a little bit of research on some of those tools if you've never done it before.
Yeah, definitely. And so, when you mentioned tools, I'm going to just say this because there's I think part of the equation of who wins and how it wins is a little bit later. But like rotary still steerable versus bent conventional mud motor, right? So
Right.
that's one thing that's thrown in there. And I think it's assumed that we have the mud motor, right?
Yeah.
And it's because sliding is a function of that. But for those of you who are curious about the plays, the basin, all that kind of jazz, the formation and what you're targeting, we will be providing a pre-drill packet, if you will, right? That will have information on the reservoirs and what you're targeting, right? History about the basin and the reservoir itself, and then even day of event, right before each well that we're going to still steer, the conventional or unconventional. We'll have a quick little video that we'll play for you that explains more into detail what that play is and what that play is about. So don't worry, don't fret. There will be more information coming your way for you participants. But if you have any questions, still you can reach out to your AEs, right? So
For sure. Yeah.
cool.
In addition to that, we'll have a geosteering trainer set up. Right,
Yes.
so you can get in there on solo. What it is, it sort of just runs in a loop. So you could log in. You might be halfway through the well. Just wait till it's done. It's going to reset, and then you can practice, this simulation. Very similar to what you'll experience in the actual event. So
And
that'll
that's
be coming out roughly 3 weeks before the event. So early September, we'll send out all the information for the trainer once you're registered.
And that's super important, and we'll talk about it in a couple slides here, but just how to use certain tools within StarSteer and what tools does the trainer use, you know what I mean? It's important, but we'll talk about that in a couple slides. But how does one win the Geosteering World Cup?
So two main factors. So number one, in zone percentage. That is the most important and critical thing you can do. And then ROP. So it's made up of about 75% in zone, 25% ROP. It's all calculated, kind of worked out. So, you want to keep your sliding to a minimum, right? You don't want any big dog legs in your lateral. That's going to slow you down. It's going to take longer to make that slide. Right? So you're going to eat up MD if you have some major deviations in your well path. So third point here, that's why I say plan ahead, right? Set that target line out nice and smooth. Have an idea of where you're going, and you're going to be better off in terms of your ROP.
Nice. Well, I like how we do that with in zone percentage as well as RPs, because one of the things as operations geologists, we're kind of like the bridge between the gap of the subsurface team and the drilling team, right? Because the drilling team, their goal is drill the fastest well. Let's put this thing in the ground. Let's move on to the next one. Let's get as quickly as possible. We don't care where we are. Let's just put it down, right? And I'm sure all of you who are on this listening in, you've probably had those conversations with your drilling engineers where you might be a few feet out of zone. You're trying to get back in zone. Things are drilling fine. And they're like, well, why can't we just stay here? Let's just stay here. And you're like, well, we need to get back in zone, right? I mean, the whole goal is to stay in zone. So I'm sure everyone's had a little bit of heartache working with your counterparts on the drilling team. But to be fair to them, right, we do have to help them out with their operations. You know what I mean? And so I think with this, it's kind of bridging that gap, marrying the two goals of each team and to create the best well possible. And that's a very realistic scenario, right? I mean, when you're out there at an operator and you're working with your drilling team, you really got to find that sweet spots for them. And it's nice to find that overlap where you have a high ROP zone in your zone.
For sure. And
So
because a bunch of geologists are working on this, putting this competition together, of course, we've assigned more weight to in-zone percentage.
100%, 100%, 100%.
Yes.
All right. So, what do you need to do to compete? I guess we need to register, right? So,
Mhm.
for those of you who are either chiming in live right now, get out your phones, get out your cameras, um, shine it up to this QR code, click the link, and register today. We will be posting this for those to see later. So, if those of you who are on, if your colleagues can't make it or your friends can't make it, you can refer them to this, and in this, they can actually scan that QR code later on in this video. But this is also on our LinkedIn, right, Jeff?
On our LinkedIn is a post, I can't
I think
remember,
we
a
posted one.
couple days ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think we just recently posted one.
Yeah.
You
We
can
also
also
have
reach out to your AEs.
we also have a spot on the ROGII.com website now. So check it
That's
out, ROGII.com/GWC 2022.
yeah, baby.
There's a bit more information there just on the events in general. A little more information there as opposed to just the registration page. So check it out and decide whether you want to enter, which I'm sure you do.
Cool. I think the other most important thing is having reliable internet, right? I mean, you don't want it to be cutting out and having some issues, but I guess that's the same thing for typical operations. You're going to need reliable internet. So,
I mean, solo runs pretty quick and light, but I mean, if you lose internet for 2 minutes, you might miss a data push, right? And it might mess you up, right? So,
definitely.
whereas, in real time, in real life, you might get, a new stand. You might drill a stand in 30 minutes plus. Now here, you're going to drill a stand in about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So, right.
So it's quick. It's fast. It comes at you. It comes at
miss,
you.
yeah.
So you have a couple minutes to identify where you want to go before you get that next data push.
Yeah. And each well is roughly 23, 24 data pushes.
Nice.
Right. So it's significant. If you miss a couple of them, that's 10% of your well, right?
Dude, that's awesome. Also, you need Star Steer. If you don't have it, there will be a pack, and we're going to send you that so you can download Star Steer. You'll have access to it. You'll be able to steer it. I think we actually provide you with that a little bit ahead of time, like Jeff was saying, so you can train and practice, right, Jeff?
Yeah, I think we'll send that stuff out around 3 weeks before the event. So, you get Star Steer installed, get on the trainer, start practicing, and then you can use that license for the event as well.
Yep.
Yeah. And even if you are a seasoned Star Steer user, we really encourage you to jump in the trainer, just get used to the simulation, the data pushes, manipulating that target line, just getting used to it. Because if you think you're good at Star Steer and you just jump in the day of the competition, it's a little bit different. So we don't want you to be too surprised.
Yeah, definitely. Which goes to the third point: skills. You got to have skills. You gotta have.
You got to practice your skills on the trainer. Yeah.
Yeah, baby. Okay, so like you had mentioned the trainer, I think, but one of the most important things is understanding that the trainer and how it uses the target line tool, like this cool little video that we got going on down below, right? So
yeah, everything's going to be set up for you. There's going to be a target line there in your object tree. You just want to make sure you know how to edit it, drag it around, manipulate the angle and the dip of it, and just be familiar with strap-based geosteering, correlating in your vertical track,
turning on that extension. There will be, I think, dogleg limiters. I think that are imposed in this. So they don't have to worry about that, right? I think it's already baked into there.
No, each project will have a dogleg limit during your curve and landing, right? Somewhere around 11 or 12 degrees. And then once you hit a certain point, it's going to switch over automatically to something lower, like 4 or 5 degrees in your lateral. Right. So it's all set up. You don't have to really touch anything.
Do you have to turn on that extension? Do you have to turn that extension on? It's the dash line for those who are watching, that dash line in there. Do you have to turn that
on? More than likely it'll already be selected.
Okay, cool.
So you just have to click edit and then drag it around.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But again, you'll get it in the trainer.
I
You'll
think,
get used to it.
Jeb, I think I asked you this not too long ago when we were looking at this. When you edit it for the Geosteering World Cup, this well or these wells, they don't have a step out, right? Or a back build. It's just like a hockey stick. So you won't have to do any azimuthal target line changes. You really just have to worry about the up down, correct?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It can get a little complicated if you have a map view open next to your cross section. We just want everyone to focus on steering the well, right?
Yeah. Yes. That makes it nice. That makes it nice. All right, so the winners, or even just the results in general, do they all get posted? I mean, how do they do that? Because that might be something that some people that might restrict them from logging on, or like, I don't want my results. What if I do terribly, or what have you? They're not all going to be posted, right? I mean, it's something that.
No, yeah, it's a common question. Like, people might get cold feet about coming in, and they're worried they're not going to do so well. But don't worry if you have an off day, you don't quite get used to the simulation as soon as you thought. Don't worry about it. Your results won't be made public. Just for fun. You can always come back next year, see if you can beat.
And dude, think about it. Even Tom Brady has an off day, right? I think there was a game where Tom Brady threw like 4 picks or something like that, but then he turned around and won and wins Super Bowls and is like he's the GOAT. So don't feel bad. Everybody has an off day. Everyone doesn't perform to their greatest. So don't let that kind of stop you from participating. Just get in there, have fun with it. It's fun. You can also test what Starseer is all about too. So it's good times.
And if for some reason your company, if your company doesn't want you in there, they don't want to use your name, you can enter with, some pseudonym.
Yeah.
I think that's been done in the past, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, except for the top 10 competitors, we'll probably post your name, but I mean, that's great. You're top 10.
Yeah.
Right?
Heck yeah. I would love it. I'd
Love it.
promote the crap out of it. Number 1 in the world. What's up? I'm the GOAT. That's what I'd call myself. I'm the GOAT. Let's go.
Right. Let's talk about prizes. That's what everyone wants to know about.
Yeah, buddy.
So it kind of depends where you finish, right? Top 10, they receive a special certificate of achievement, personalized with their rank. You post that on your office wall, it'll be beautiful. Top 20% will receive a certificate recognizing their performance.
Let's go.
That's all right too. And competitors who score first place in their region will be crowned regional geosteering champion.
Whoop, whoop.
All right, so they'll receive a certificate as well, and a DJI mini drone, which looks
like that on the right, and it's freaking awesome. If y'all have ever played with a drone, they're like the coolest things ever. And now they're like so sophisticated now. They are sweet.
What'd you say? This one has a 12-kilometer range or something?
This one has, I think it was 10. I think the next
Okay.
one up had 12. 10-kilometer transmission, which I was like, oh my gosh. This one shoots in 4K. So really good quality right there. Those of you who are just wanting to make some cool Instagram posts, hashtags, trying to get Insta famous, or even TikToks, there you go. You got this. You can make some really cool videos. But yeah, no, I do not have a drone, and unfortunately, I can't participate because I would love to. I'd love to get that. Now, what is the overall Geosteering World Cup winner get?
Yeah, overall champion gets the drone, of course, the beautiful 2022 World Cup trophy down there in the bottom right, and eternal fame, of course, and full bragging rights for a whole year.
Eternal
for a
fame.
long time, actually. Yeah.
Be crowned the GOAT.
That's right.
You get into the Geosteering Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Also, we want to just remind you, use that filter, right? Tag ROGII, and the winner, those who, I think it's like the first one to tag, first one to post and tag, the most creative, we have these Apple tags. If you don't know what an Apple tag is, it's essentially like a tile, but what it is you can use your Apple phone in the Find My app to find it. So you can put it on like a keychain. I think you can you might be able to put it on like a remote control. You can probably put on your pet's collar. You know what I mean? You can go find my tag. It's actually pretty cool. But yeah, hashtag GWC 2022, GWC 22, and Star Steer. And then that way we can, take a look at it and see all those awesome posts that y'all are putting up there.
Now, this is a question for me, Keith. Do you know how to use a filter? Like how will everyone be able to access our filter?
So that is a great question. I do
We
know
might not know yet, but we'll let you know. Right?
I do. Yes, I do know how to use filters. You can actually search filters within Instagram. I'll figure out the name. It's probably GWC 2022. So you could probably search GWC within the Instagram filter portion. And then once you do that, it becomes like a filter in your story. It's got to be done in a story. So once you're done doing that story, you take your photo, bam, post it to your story, and that filter should show. So, but we'll make sure that we publicize that more on a how-to, and then send it out. So also, if you have any questions, shoot out to your account executives, and we can funnel those questions and get that answer to you.
Perfect. Yeah, and this is kind of just setting the stage for the World Cup in general. This little webinar. We're going to have another one week before the competition. We're actually going to go through the pre-spud booklet together.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna walk through it, take everyone's questions, get everyone set up and feeling comfortable for the competition. In 1 week's time. So don't worry right now if you're wondering what's going on. Just register, and then we'll get together back in September, and we'll go over it again.
Jeff, there is a question. Great question. During the events, will it be an active or proactive geosteering? So I think they're asking, are you trying to, I think it's going to be more proactive, where you're going to have to, I guess, reactive/proactive.
So I guess what happens is, if we look at a target line tool, like, you're going to set it where you think the well should be drilled.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're going to get that data push, let's call it 30 meters of new data, right? And that well is going to append, whoops, I can't stop the GIF, but that well is going to append to this line 30 meters out, right? Once it does that, you can go back and you can change your interpretation, and then kind of get ready for the next push, right? So that's kind of how it works. You're not locked into your interpretation after each push. You're always going back. You can change things.
Mm-hmm. That's how I was like. It's kind of reactive/proactive, because you are trying to predict where you're gonna go, right? Mm-hmm. But once you get that data push, like, if you put that target line, you feel that with the data that you have and the interpretation that you have, that the formation is dipping upwards, and so you're climbing up in strata, but then the next push comes through and there was a rollover, right? You are going to have to react and go back down dip, right? Mm-hmm. So there's that reactive portion to it, because you're going to have to update your interpretation, but you're always trying to look ahead of the bit and see where you're going, and that's what that target line tool is to try to be proactive in the sense of understanding where the structure is leading you and where you think the well needs to be. Good question. And actually, we're opening it up for questions right now. So yeah, if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat, the Q&A. You're welcome. Just saw that come through. Yeah, put it in the chat. Put it in the QA. We'll be on here for a little bit. If this ends and we're long gone, it's a day later, and you have a question, I keep saying this, you can reach out to your account executives. And, you know, we will be able to answer those questions for you. So don't hesitate to reach out. Don't hesitate to reach out for the link to how to register. Actually, while we're waiting, do you want to put that QR code back up, Jeff?
Yeah.
While we have that on and while we're waiting. So if people want to register now, they can actually go through it, scan it with their phones. It's quick, it's easy. Like he said, if you don't want to, you know, you can do a pseudonym for, you know, your company or even your name. Do a stage name, right? Pick a stage name. Just don't take Tom Barrow. That's mine. I got it patent pending. It's trademarked. It's mine. But yeah, no, you can make up a name and you know, participate under that name if you'd like. But
We did get a couple of new registrants during the webinar, so thank you very much, guys.
awesome. Yes, I love it, man. It is a fun event. It really is. So you know, we'll have a live stream. So we will be streaming the event live. I'll be the one of the hosts, and we will just kind of be ESPN styling it, you know, commentating. Also, we'll be bringing on, for those of you if you came on later, we'll be bringing on some guests from our sponsors. So we'll be chatting about, you know, life, geosteering, geology. We'll just be nerding out, you know what I mean, and talking a little bit about, you know, their business and what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you're not participating, you can still chime in live and watch it live, right? And I think, Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, we had a lot of people streaming in live, right? The last year.
Yeah, I seem to remember. I can't remember the count. At least 300 people were on the live YouTube at one point. It could be more. I actually
I want to say it was
don't
like
remember the
I
numbers.
want to say there was like a high number of people who logged in, but I
Yeah.
I don't want to misquote it, but I want to say there were a lot of people.
There were a lot. So
Yeah.
what some people do is they'll have the live stream. I think we do it on YouTube and maybe somewhere else.
Hmm.
They'll have that on the background, but they'll be steering at the same time. And then, you know, we have like live results as well, real time results showing in zone percentage and ROP, like total score in each region. So you can kind of keep tabs on that. Each player is assigned a certain player number, right? So you have that in your head, which number you are, and just kind of
It'll be like, will
that's
it
how
be
you're
like
doing.
the golf tally, like when the golfers do better, they move up in the notch, and then if they
Yeah,
don't do
yeah,
so
it's
hot, they
exactly
move
like
down.
that. Yeah,
So it's dynamic. That's cool.
exactly.
Get
Yeah.
ready for it, guys. It's like
So
Happy
I think
Gilmore
that
style.
updates. Yeah, that little dashboard updates with each data push as well, right? So about every 2 minutes, you're getting live results, so you can see how you're doing.
Yeah, no, I think that's going to be awesome. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, I'll be up there. You'll see this face here, and you'll hear this annoying voice. So if you hate it, you can put me on mute. Oh man! But are there any other questions, guys? You know, definitely we're going to stay on until about 3:30. So if there are any questions, please do not hesitate to put them in the chat, to reach out. Just got a notification that there's a heat wave going on here in Houston. I don't know how it is in Canada, but it's apparently really, really hot out here.
Hot, but not that hot.
Oh man, it has been ridiculous. I need a pool. And that, you know, I've been trying to figure out where I'd like to host this, and I kind of want to host it at a pool with like a Mai Tai in my hand. But I know ROGII would ROGII would let me. It's hot, guys. Maybe a little kiddie pool. Maybe I'll have a little kiddie pool sitting in it myself. I don't know.
In the office.
No, but all seriousness,
Yeah.
you know, at least with this event, you don't have to be outside, right? You can be in the comfort of your own office, your own home. And yeah, all you need is just reliable Wi-Fi
Yeah.
and Star Steer, which you'll get. So don't worry, that'll happen. And if you don't have Star Steer, right, and you participate in this, and you're like, I really like Star Steer. This is an amazing product. I really want to get this. How do I get this? You can reach out to one of your account executives. We'll get you hooked up. You know, we can, and even if you don't participate, but you're watching it and you see Star Steer, you see the ins and outs, you see what everybody's doing. You're like, wow, that looks like an amazing product. I want to trial it. You can reach out to your account executives, or you can go on our website to request the demo, and we'll get it allocated to the appropriate person. You'll be reached out by one of us, and then we can get you set up with a trial. For just a Star Steer trial, it's about 2 weeks. Now, if you want to do Star Steer and solo, I know Jeff has talked and mentioned solo. For those of you who are on and don't know about it, it's our cloud-based solution, which allows for it's like a single database that holds like all your drilling data, geology data, completions data, a lot of data, logs, mud logs, interpretations, well data, everything. It allows you to access that data pretty much anywhere and everywhere, right? And it allows you to collaborate with your counterparts, whether that's like your drilling team and they can use one of our products called Starlight, which is like an evergreen dynamic report, if you will. Or you can work with one of your third-party geosteering vendors, like one of our sponsors, like GeoVision, Core, Edge, Terra Guidance, Paladin, Beloy. The name continues going on. Stratigraph, PH. There's a lot of them, right? But you can work with any of your third-party vendors in the same project. And it makes data sharing so much easier. It makes collaborating and working with your service company so much easier. Makes your life easier and better. So if you want to check out Solo, even if you're just a StarSteer user and you want to enhance your experience with Solo, reach out to one of your account executives. Right, we're here to help you out, and we're here to make your experience the best. Okay, got another question. I'm gonna ask this. I don't know. This is a good question. As our experience, does one of the top 10 winners get a better chance in getting a job offer after the event? That is a great question. That's something that I haven't. What, you want to answer that, Jeff?
I can't confirm, but if you have impressive results, people are definitely impressed. We've heard people putting it on their resumes and getting noticed. So it's a big accomplishment if you do well. And if you don't do well, nobody knows, right?
Yeah. So, I can neither confirm nor deny without the presence of my superior. Right. I'm just kidding. No, I would say, yeah, to Jeff's point, I don't think it is I'm like skirting around the question. It's definitely not a negative, right? It can only help you out. So if you do top 10, you can be like, hey, I participated in this. There were over 300 people who steered this same exact well, the same data set, and I had the highest in zone percentage and stayed in the higher ROP zone with minimal sliding, which means you just created a good wellbore, right? That is definitely something to be proud of, and I would put it on my resume for sure. Now, that's up to, I think, the hiring company, if they want to say, yeah, definitely, that's a big plus for us. But it definitely is something that I think you should feel proud of. If you get top 10, I mean, that's top 10. That's legit. That is super cool. I think if I participated, I'd definitely get number one. I'm just kidding. I don't know if I'd even take top 10. You know what I mean? But no, that's something you should definitely be proud of. So, great question. I'm sorry, I don't know if that was a direct answer to your question, but yeah.
I was just thinking about steering parties, right? If you're considering maybe having a party, just do it. Get your colleagues together, get your coworkers, your friends registered, have a little steering party, and at least you'll have them to beat, right? All your friends, make it competitive, get everyone signed up and involved, have a good time.
So I'm responding to something.
All right, well, I guess there's no further questions for the webinar. Feel free to reach out to any of us.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, feel free to reach out anytime. We are here. We are here to help and here to answer any of your questions. So if there are no more questions, I mean, we can actually end this a little bit early, which is nice. Y'all can get back, crush today. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you at the Geosteering World Cup. Thank you for joining us today. And thanks to those who joined during the webinar. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone.
Y'all have a good day. Let's go World Cup. Let's make it fun. Let's have a blast, baby. Woo!
See you, everyone.
Bye.